welcome to the third review of the evening. Up this time is Kingdom Tales 2. A long time ago, there was a kingdom ruled by a fair king, um, Arnor. Right? His daughter Dahlia was the most beautiful and cleverest in the land. Noble lords from many kingdoms begged the king for his daughter's hand, but no one was good enough for his Dahlia. However, in absolute secret, young blacksmith Finn and Dahlia were in love, till one day their secret love was revealed. Then the king was furious. Join the expedition of the king's builders and architects on their noble quest. Explore, gather, produce, trade, build, repair, and work for the well being of all your subjects. But watch out, the greedy Count
Oli.
and his spies never sleep. Um, kind of two different narratives going on there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, help Finn and Dahlia, the two young lovebirds, reunite. I don't know why lovebirds are in quotes here. Um, find your way to glory through 40 exciting levels. Meet peculiar and funny characters along the way. Outsmart the greedy Count Ollie and his spies. Yeah, so this is another casual strategy game.
Yeah.
And if you recall, we, or rather the Golics, reviewed the Nintendo Switch version of Kingdom Tales 1 a few weeks back. So here he is once again with the sequel. Tell us how things have improved or not improved.
Well, the story is different. I don't. Honestly, this one seems a little bit more cliche, if anything. And, like, the human characters look a bit different. But the actual gameplay aesthetic, like the actual design of the buildings and things, is exactly the same art style, it feels like, even if the specific, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit more cartoony and less photo-y, I don't know. But aside from some things being renamed slightly, the basic gameplay mechanic of click on the thing when there's a circle above it and eventually and build new things to fulfill the goals of the levels is still pretty much the same also. And again, there are a small assortment of in-game achievements for accomplishing things. Again, there is the choice between uh, well, this time there are two different levels of difficulty with timers, like a really hard, I think they call it expert, and a normal. And then there is a casual mode, which does not have a timer and just lets you complete things at your own pace. Uh, Again, I kind of have to recommend against using the Switch port of this, and if you do use the Switch port, definitely play it with touch controls. Because once again, the controller controls are are right stick and right trigger only, and tapping is. I just feel much more comfortable with that. But really, I think optimal you'd want to use a mouse and occasionally keyboard. Um, I didn't get super far in this one either, but as far as I got, there are not many significant differences in what you're doing. The biggest one that I got to is that in the first two stages, you find out that instead of there being just a well that your people can have to go to when they start feeling hungry, and then afterwards they get happiness, now you have to build a farm and have that farm manually produce food for your people to go click on to go get when they get hungry, which I guess is another thing to do, which the game was kind of a little low on action, but it's also kind of a little bit obnoxious in terms of planning resources, because even though the food does not cost a lot, it's a slightly irregular amount. Again, there's a bit of min-maxing you can do. The biggest strategy is all about build order. There's a little bit of min-maxing you can do about what location you build stuff in, because stuff like families, again, when a house is unhappy enough due to not having food, they'll stop paying taxes. So you have to and the happiness doesn't tick back up until the person gets back to the house with food. So there's some min maxing about like where you build stuff in terms of like how far people will have to go to to deliver the money to the town hall or whatever. But again, I can't rate it that much better than the first one because it's very similar generally, and honestly it doesn't do much for me because largely you're just doing you're fulfilling generally pretty simple obstacles. There are secret stuff to find, but not a whole lot of it. There are only 40 levels in this one. I don't know how many there were in the first one, so that's not really a whole lot. But I mean, I guess if you want something to kill time, it's not terrible, but I'd still recommend probably playing it on a PC or something instead of on the Switch. Depending on how the prices line up, Adam, how's that go?
Better this time around. Um, Still a bit of a disparity. Kingdom Tales 2 for the PC is $6.99, $7 basically, and Kingdom Tales 2 on the Nintendo Switch is $9.99, so $10.
Yeah, the PC price is more like what I would pay also.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I just the whole like, oh, the princess didn't want to marry any of the nobles. She wants to get with the intelligent young blacksmith is a very well-worn fantasy or fairy tale trope. So
yes. Uh, Big case of ice going on here.
yeah,
Anyway, so anything else on Kingdom Tales 2?
not really. I feel like it's a pretty. I mean, it's not brain dead, but it's not complicated.
Okay, then. All right, so that'll about do it for Kingdom Tales 2 here. Be sure to tune in after the break as we will be reviewing the quarter game.